So, I don't know if we have rules, but all I can tell you is that I've been reading a lot of nonfiction lately, and I was all concerned that I was, possibly sometime in the future going to do a nonfiction book, and I was like, oh gosh, what if nonfiction books aren't allowed? And then you went and did a video on other YouTube videos, and then I wasn't worried anymore. So in my last video, I talked about Matilda, and I mentioned that I had it kind of read to me as a kid, didn't really like it that much at the time. And that is kind of the case of most of the, classic children's literature that was foisted upon me in my youth. I like a lot of it now. I think it would be interesting at some point to talk about who chooses which children's literature is good and classic, and why it seems that a lot of the time kids don't actually like the children's books that adults think are amazing. So I guess that begs the question, what did I read as a kid? One of my favorite things ever is this. And this is The Song of the Lioness Quartet by Tamora Pierce. It was like probably my first favorite book ever. It is about this young girl named Alana, and she lives in this kingdom called Tortal, and this takes place, it's a fantasy kingdom, but it's very medieval, probably more Renaissance era maybe. Anyway, so she is the daughter of a noble, and she has a twin brother named Tom, and their father wants to send Tom away to learn to be a knight, and he wants to send Alana to a convent to learn to be a lady. And the convent also teaches magic. Both Alana and her brother have magical ability, but she is really afraid, kind of apprehensive about her own powers, whereas Tom is just very, very curious and daring with his. And she also really, really despises etiquette and does not want to be a lady. She wants to learn how to fight, and she's always dreamed of being a knight, even though such a thing is not allowed in Tortal. So, being twins, her and her brother switch places, and he goes off to learn magic, and she goes off to learn to be a knight. And of course, there are some complications with this, especially, when she hits the time when certain things would start to show. And so it's interesting that the way that she gets around those things and how she learns to become the kind of person that she wants to be, and all these different trials that she faces. And so it's really just a big, long adventure story about her life from the time that she's about 11 to the fourth book is when she's, fully fledged adult. I just think it's just a really, really great series. It has everything. It has magic, and it has action, and it has romance, and the romance is interesting because all of the people around her think that she's a boy, and so that's one of those things that kind of takes shape slowly over time when people start to learn who she really is. Yeah, Tamora Pierce is really just one of my favorite authors of all time. We'll have to talk more about her other books. Reading this as a young girl, I found the whole thing to be very, very empowering, and it made me feel like I could do anything that I wanted. And it also really helped me through a lot of growing pains as I got older, because she deals with a lot of things as she ages that we all have to deal with. And so I just really, really like this series. It has like a special place in my heart, and this author has a special place in my heart because I read her all through my childhood, and I still read her today whenever she comes out with something new. So yeah, read this series. It's good. That's all.